In my previous video, I was explaining you guys on the aspects of programming, how to get started. If you are a college grad and if you want to join computer science stream, what are the things that you should be looking for? And very good place to start with, which will teach you on the aspects of programming, how to get started with. To educate in all these aspects, I'm going to take you guys through a small tutorial session where I'll be choosing Ruby as my favorite programming language to take you guys through. So, with the assumption that Ruby is already installed in your laptop, it can be Mac, Linux, or it can be Windows. So once you have installed the installing of Ruby programming language, I'll make a separate video regarding the same. So I'm proceeding with the assumption that you already have downloaded Ruby in your system. So on your terminal or in your Windows PowerShell, if Ruby is already installed, so if you just type interactive Ruby, so it will give you it will so basically it's an interactive session. You can type the commands and Ruby interpreter will understand and it will throw you the output. So to begin with, Ruby is a very friendly programming language. There are a lot of blogs and websites where you can just go through, learn them so quickly, and you can be an expert within a matter of few days. To begin with, like I was explaining earlier, Ruby is an programming language. It's an object-oriented programming language. It has a lot of functions built in, a lot of methods built in. You can just use it and the right way, and you'll be able to get the answers. So let's start with a basic Hello Ruby program. So Ruby basically has a built-in command called puts. It's like printf in C, or it's like system.out.println in Java. So you just type it, and there you go, the output. And even the mathematical operations are readily available to you. You assign a variable, and then you just do a plus b. There you go, and you can even subtract. There you go. You can even multiply, and if you want to use exponential powers, so this is the answer. So for instance, if I want to calculate what is 3 to the power of 2, so that will give you. And there is a library called math where you can just use math libraries. For instance, if I want to calculate the square root of 9, so it will do something like this. Likewise, math dot trigonometric functions are there. Math dot all so basically any operations, mathematical operations is readily available, and you can use it if you are familiar with it. So you can come out of the interpreter, interactive Ruby, like this. You can again go back, like I was explaining earlier. So any string that needs to be printed, it can be dumped like this. The basic functions of a Ruby, it can be defined in the following manner. So it has the keyword called def and my function name. You can open and close brackets. You can type print whatever you want in it, and you need to end it with an end keyword. So now if I want to call this function, I can choose to pass this braces. There you go. I can even omit them if there are no parameters. Yeah, it's the same. I will teach you one more function, test function with a parameter name. It takes in a name and it will print the name for you. So you can invoke the function in this fashion. I'm just passing Chandan in here. There you go. Or you can even pass a sentence along with this. And yeah, you can even pass double quotes. It will still take instead of single quote. Yeah, that's about it. And like we were explaining earlier, you can even do the mathematical operations inside a function. Test mathematical options equal maybe but as a plus b. There you go. So if you pass in 3 comma 4, it will give you 7. Operations 4 comma 9. There you go. Test. Def- Define a function for multiplication. Come b, put as a star b. Now test multiplication 3 comma 5. There you go. So this is how you can write custom functions and its associated functionalities. Now you can even choose to return. In this case, I was not returning anything. We were just printing the values. If you choose to return something, then test method to return an integer. Yeah, you can choose to return the same. And let's say I want a function called, I want to get a variable and assign it to variable b. So you can pass in, and now if you put as b, yeah, there you go. So this is how you can do multiple operations, and even the mathematical operations can be done using it by using your custom functions. You can define the custom functions like this. Basically, it starts with a keyword def followed by your function name, some meaningful name. In snake case, if you want to have parameters, you can have the parameters, and then if you want to print them, you can do so. If you want to perform operations, then you can even do that. You can, if you want to return something, you can even return, and you can invoke the function in the similar fashion. So this is how you would do. Now, just for your knowledge purpose, you can take this as a small assignment. Write some functions for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and even the exponential calculations, and then you can choose to comment them in the comment section. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll be more than happy to clarify them. uh, like, moving on, since we have introduced the concept of custom functions and how the string can be defined, a small hello world program can be written using the interactive programming Ruby interpreter. Now, let's try to understand on the if else conditions. For instance, let's say I'm assigning a variable a. If a is equal to Chandan, put as yes, I found him. Else if a is equal to Chen, yes, I found. Else, okay. If you start with double quotes, please do remember end it with double quote. Else it will again fail with the syntax error. So in this case, yes. So since the string was assigned with Chandan, it hit this condition. So basically, the syntax of if else construct, if else condition is if followed by condition, else if followed by condition. Finally, if you have few more, you can still do the same thing, else finally the condition. So this is how you would write an if condition in case of Ruby. Now, there are certain things like, for instance, if you want to go over a loop, in case of Ruby it is simple. In the normal C or in C++ Java programming language, you would do I is equal to assignment, and then you would assign the increment operations, you would give the condition, and then you would assign the incrementation steps in here. But in case of Ruby it is different. uh, so the way you would do is, before jumping onto that, I would show you how will we define arrays in case of Ruby. So an array is defined within a square bracket, something like this. Now if you want to iterate over this, well, you can do it something like this. Put as a, Yeah, so basically, a for loop in case of Ruby is something like this. You can assign it set of string values, numerics. You can have a mix and match, and then you can go over it. You need not define an I in case of C++. You would do that. You can straight away do this. You can even perform string operations on the some mathematical operations. I equals to I plus 5. Put as I. Okay, since it's a string, you need to do dot to I, otherwise it could fail. So see how interactive the interpreter is. Clearly it defines and it throws you the error, and then in there itself you can catch hold of the errors and you can correct it. The way you can go back to the interactive Ruby is like this. Coming back, an array is assigned, and you can iterate over it. If you want, you can increment it. 5, print its value so that you know it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, because initially the number was 1, you added 5 to it, it became 6. The second number was 2, you added 5 to it, became 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Yeah, so a bit of recap is to start with Ruby. It's an interactive programming language. The interactive Ruby, once you download it into your respective laptops or desktops, I'm assuming you have already having it on your terminal or PowerShell. Just type IRB, you will enter into interactive Ruby session, and any string operations you can assign them straight away. And if you do put as, you will be able to display that's your first hello program, followed by the mathematical operations. It's readily available at the interpreter itself. There is a math library which is included, which has built-in functions. It has addition, square root, any other trigonometrical capabilities. Everything is there built in inside the math library. Further, your custom functions can be defined using the keyword def followed by the function name, meaningful function name. If you have parameters, pass it to it, otherwise you can leave it empty, and followed by the functional logic. Inside that you can write some sentences, perform the operations. If you want to return some values, you can return, and then that's how you would do it. And if you want to invoke the function, just call the function name with the parameters if there is any, and there you go. Now, um, like I taught a few minutes ago, there is a for and there is if else constructs. The for loop syntax, assign the array, and you can go over it with the help of each, and it does the work for you. Then the if else constructs, if some condition, your statements, else if conditions, some statements, else your last condition, the fallback, and that's how you would do. Yeah, so in this video, pretty much I've covered some basics. Um Please feel free to comment in your questions in inputs, and also please feel free to submit the assignments which I gave you. Write small functions for multiple mathematical operations, try, experiment, and execute, and then see how it turns out to be. Please do watch, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be coming up with more and more videos of this. Thanks a lot.